Peter and John. Great listening to your show then. Some absolutely fascinating stuff comes out. I suppose one of the things that I was listening to, Peter, and it was this having a partnership with somebody. Now, lots of people will find people and say that would be someone good to go into business with, but there's a fear factor, especially if someone's got control issues. That wouldn't be us in this room. But how do you overcome that, and how did you convince yourself that this was going to be the right model for your business?
I didn't know. Short answer, you choose and you make a decision, and some of it is gut, and I've learnt over time that I've got a business gut that I listen to.
That's interesting.
So that if I look at a deal and it's either too good or, you know, there's something not right or whatever, that business gut comes into being. And in my early days, I didn't understand that very well. But it's something you've got to trust. And you've got to trust yourself, but also you've got to work at it. Because it's not just the other person.
Mm-hmm.
The other person has a 50% responsibility, but that means that you have a 50% responsibility. Now Dale quite often says that I over-communicate.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
But his wife says, well, isn't that a good thing in a partnership?
Mm.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, we all have our failings.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, you know, you just got to work at it.
How have you managed that? And I'll ask you in a minute, John, but how have you managed that, Peter? Because we do come from different perspectives. That was one of the things you said. So how have you managed to manage that from your perspective and be able to accept the other person without it feeling like you were losing or it wasn't doing the thing you wanted to do?
Oh, sometimes it does feel like you're losing, and sometimes you don't accept the other person, and sometimes you don't speak to them for a week. And just like a marriage, you know, except without the good. No, sorry.
Yeah.
Sometimes that because we're humans and we have strong opinions, because that's what helps drive business, is that strong force of will. And strong force of will means that there is conflict. And it's a case of working out ways to, you know, overcome and address the conflict. And on a regular basis, Dale and I go out for the day. We've been deep sea fishing, we've gone and played golf, we've gone for a walk, we've gone out of the office, out of the environment. There's always a beer somewhere around. There's some sort of physical activity, whether it's water skiing or golf or fishing or whatever, because those couple of things, for us, as in two boys, help us distract ourselves from what's going on. Because when boys talk, they're side by side, they're not face to face.
Mm-hmm.
So when you've got conflict that you need to address, it's side by side, facing, you know, whatever you're facing, because that works better. And walking and all those moving things are better for when you're addressing those sort of things, and they're better for planning as well.
Interesting.
And
Very
I learned
cool.
that from one of my psychotherapist, counsellor sort of clients.
Yeah.
And she was going on and on about this way that girls talk and boys talk, and the idea of actually having the face-to-face. Now, you've got us sitting sort of a bit at an angle, but sort of a bit face-to-face, which is about a halfway point between that girl and boy thing.
Yeah.
You know? So, and that's an important compliment to say the way you've designed the studio, but also it's a way of presenting a non-threatening but an interacting way.
Yes, correct. Yes.
You understand?
No, absolutely.
And noticing and knowing that for yourself is
Yes.
the way you actually understand and the way you deal with the conflict that arises when you have different opinions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
So,
absolutely.
John,
That's sort of a long answer there.
No, that's a great answer.
That's a fantastic answer.
Really.
I'll flip back to one I want to ask John about. It was very interesting when Peter said he has a business gut. Now, you talk about this when you're coaching.
Oh, absolutely. Business leaders need to understand that they actually read the signals that's going on around them all the time. And one of the ways I've described that is oftentimes when they're in danger, they see a red flag. So it's my red flag principle. They see it, but are they willing to actually understand that there is something going off and you need to address it? So there is that intuitiveness that's going on inside of us that we read the environment. You know, this, what you just described about the way we sit, we're sitting open. So it means when people watch us, we're open, we're not trying to hide anything, we're being authentic, and people read that, and it's really powerful. And so we do the same in business. We read the environment, and we indicate things all the time in that environment, and we have to trust our intuitiveness, we have to trust our gut, or we have to trust our instinct, or we have to trust that thought, because we really are quite intelligent to know and read and understand what is going on around and about us. Because I know, because I do some coaching in the church world, and I tell churches that people have made a decision within 30 seconds of arriving in the car park. And that shocks them that it's not anything else, but they're making a decision about that environment very, very quickly.
Absolutely. And
we've got to understand that. I was in a situation yesterday, and my body language indicated I was in trouble. And this person read that and was able to help me relax out of being in trouble. And I tightened up, and my leg was going, and all sorts of, and I could see myself doing that, and I couldn't stop myself. And so we have that happening to us, and I encourage businesses, trust the gut, trust your instinct, trust your intuition, trust the red flag that's waving at you, and then make a decision. But this is what I encourage them to do. Make it quickly, not slowly. Now, thoughtfully, intently, but oftentimes they make it far too slow.
It's really interesting when you're talking about that. And you're talking about, it's like a marriage. In a marriage, the kids come along. In a business, families come along. Have you had that discussion?
Groupsupport rule number 1, no spouses. No family. We don't employ family, we don't employ our spouses, we don't employ anybody who's related. Okay? It started off where Dal's family and his family environment was, let's say, not as stable as we would have liked it, either one of us. And I'm not one to work with my wife, and my wife certainly wouldn't work with me. So being wise creatures as we are, we decided to put a rule in place, and that has put us in good stead for 13 years.
Fantastic.
We've made a couple of exceptions on specific basis with both of us in agreement, and those are very short-lived for a specific purpose. You know, at the moment, for instance, my youngest daughter cleans the office for pocket money. Okay, she's not involved in an interaction with any of the other staff or the business or anything like that. So, fine. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But anything else as far as business and the emotions and business?
Did you have that discussion before you signed up to be partners? Was that one of your initial? Did you actually go through that strategy of going, this is what I think?
No.
It's evolved.
It evolved on very early on, like week 1, week 2. It evolved because, like I said to you, we have very different opinions, but quite often arrive at the same conclusion. And I could see the only solution was to do this, and I didn't mind it from my point of view. And I mentioned it, and Dal goes, "Well, yeah, of course."
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? So it wasn't a case of anything surprising.
Now, John, when you hear business owners talk, and look, I think some people try to get it perfect before they jump in, and you're very much get some broad brushstrokes, start it happening, and then work and morph it. But when people start making those sorts of quite firm decisions like the no family bit, do you then advise it should be documented? This is now part of the business rules. So it is in writing? How do you tackle
absolutely,
these issues?
Because it's easy to go in, it's hard to go out. And if you don't have the in done well, so you can do the outgoing well, then you're stuffed. And
Can I just say,
please,
that policy
yes.
is not written down. It's not.
Okay, that's interesting.
We've got 2 policies.
Okay.
Okay, is no family and are we making money?
Okay, very cool.
Okay?
Yeah.
And that's the policy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and the name says Group Support. Okay, we are a group of people supporting our clients.
That's great.
The name is says everything, but we need to make money.
Yeah.
Because that's what a business does.
Yeah. Even though it's not written down, it's something that you
Absolutely.
verbalised
That's
and
it.
verbalised
All
and
the time.
verbalised. It's language. It's part of the
That's
language
it.
of the business. And that's also interesting. Languages of businesses are really, really powerful about what we tell, how we tell our story. And we've told that story, even the staff would know, wouldn't it? If I asked any of the staff, what are the two things?
The first question,
Yeah.
well, they won't talk about the no spouses, but the two things they'll talk about is what's the margin,
Mm-hmm.
okay?
Yes.
And make sure the spelling's right.
Right. Yes. So that's the third rule, which is interesting.
It's not a rule so much as my requirement.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
You know, if
yes.
I'm sending out something to a
Yes.
client, I don't want them to be distracted
Yeah.
by incorrect spelling.
Correct. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
Isn't that interesting?
That's really cool.
You know, and in my industry, sometimes an incorrect spelling, if you put a T instead of a G, it
Yes.
makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Do you know what I'm saying? One M versus two M's. It makes
Yes.
a big difference
Yes.
on a very
Yes.
technical document.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
you know,
Yeah. Very cool. Very cool.
John, you raised an interesting point, the out.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have discussions going in about the out, or is
No.
that morphed? Or do you ever have discussions
Yes.
of how do we exit this
Yes.
together or
Yes.
separately?
yes. About 5 years ago, we started thinking about what to do when both Dal and I have our youngest children are in Year 12 at the moment.
Mm.
Okay, so that frees us once they finish their schooling, when I say primary schooling, you know, sort of the essential schooling, primary and secondary school. Once they finish that, that takes our burden away from actually having to look after them as children. You know, they are then into the adult realm of uni, and whether they pass or fail uni, that's their issue. Do you know what I'm saying? It's really, Year 12 and Year 11 are too, but that's a different matter. But it takes that burden away, so we can start thinking, and we have started thinking about what we're doing.
Yeah.
In 5 years' time or whatever.
Yeah.
Now, Dal has never been able to travel
Yes.
previously for other reasons. And so over the last couple of years, he's started travelling more. So he likes South America, he and his wife like South America. So they're travelling to Patagonia again. And that's one of the things they're doing in this 5-year block. And my 5-year block is based upon getting on the golf course more, okay, and becoming more involved with row gaining.
Yes,
It's
yes,
one
yeah.
of my other great loves. Being able to do something which is to our health and also do what we need to do, we're starting to morph the business into the components we will need to sell it as, because in its current form it's too complex. So, you know, you couldn't come in to buy the business and manage it, because at the moment Group Support is Dal and I.
Yes.
It's a consultancy in
Yes,
some
absolutely.
ways.
Yeah.
And so we had to dissect
Yes.
it out. So we took the first step last year and we took another step this year to actually craft the business structure differently
Very good.
in
Yeah.
order to fulfil that time that when we need to,
Yeah.
you know, our exit strategies are there ready to
Very
take
good. So it's really important. You've got a business, you've got a partnership, you've grown it. Now you understand everything rises and falls on the leadership that you bring, and you're planning where the thing goes forward. So I think we've given our listeners today a whole bunch of really good insights to ask themselves the questions, am I doing that in my business? And if not, what would you suggest they do?
Pick up the phone,
Yes.
you know.
Yeah.
Call the office,
Yes.
speak to, or find a trusted advisor.
Yeah.
You know, it's the sort of thing you do.
Yes.
On the non-technical basis.
Yes, that's right.
It's the sort of thing I do.
Yeah.
I ask the questions anyway, because part of automation, part of changing the technology, part of changing the profile of a business electronically, has to meet and marry with the plans for exit or growth or whatever you're doing.
Yes. Yeah, fantastic. Peter, it's great having you in the studio. So please, if you need a trusted advisor, contact Groupsupport, and the information will be below the video for you to hyperlink that and go straight there. And also contact myself, and my details are there for you as well. Great having you on the show, and we're looking forward to continue to do this kind of work to help you do business better.